Folks, Jonathan Kuminga situation is still ongoing. The question is, would you give up a player on the Warriors roster to facilitate that trade to get him out of Golden State? Do you even want him out of Golden State? At this point, per what Arthur talked about the other day, it feels like he's coming back to Golden State. Why? With the qualifying offer of $7.9 million, or taking the offer potentially 2 years, $40-45 million range. That's a total deal. Now, what if he could go to Phoenix or the Kings and offer a player? Well, apparently the Warriors have some non-negotiables. I'm going to break that down. In addition, salary cap. This is the whole situation. How much money to give a player this year, future years. I know that you guys like when I do these breakdowns, give you insights into the analytics of the data of the salary cap. So we're going to break down salary cap allocation for this year and future years and how it's playing a part in Kuminga with the Warriors and other teams. Randy Silver, Arthur giving you great videos, Warriors Digest for trades, rumors, free agency, everything in between, game stuff. Of course, we're in the dog days of summer in the NBA, but like, subscribe so you don't miss any news. Hopefully the Kuminga saga will end shortly. So let's share the screen. The Warriors have shut down any sign and trade. Again, unless you live under a rock, you know this, so we're going to quickly go through this. They want a premium player and a first-round pick. Well, let me even say it. A good core player who can contribute and a first-round pick that's unprotected. The Athletic reported the Kings had initial offer of Devin Carter, Dario Saric, who used to be a Warrior, and 2 second-round picks. Now, that's become Malik Monk and a protected first-round pick. That protected first-round pick was 2030 or 2031. Think the Kings may be good, meaning it would become unprotected the year after. A pretty low first-round pick. When we say low, closer to the second round than higher up. So not worth it when you gave up Kuminga, or you pick Kuminga with the 7th pick. Even if the Kings were to remove the protection, and now he will get more to the money side, the cap space, unlikely to accept a deal because they would need to include additional salary along Kuminga to make it work, aka the Warriors have to give up a player. Moses Moody or Buddy Hield probably has to be in that deal per the reporter from San Francisco. Why? Because Kuminga is a restricted free agent, so sign and trade would work. Under base year compensation rules, only 50% of Kuminga's new salary would count as outgoing salary in a sign and trade scenario. So in this case, folks, Kings 3-year, $63 million offer would average $21 million per year. But only $10.5 million of that would be counted on Golden State's side. That would leave the Warriors need to add more contracts to match Monk's $18 million. So that means you have to get $8 million, $8.3 million. How do you get there? Again, we're the only team not to sign anybody in free agency so far. Buddy Hield, $9.6 million. Moses Moody, $12 million. Or Buddy Hield, $9.2 million. So one of those two players, they're not trading Butler. They're not trading Green. They're not trading Curry. If you were to give up, say, Brandin plus Trayce plus Santos, like now you're just at a deficit because you don't have any depth on your team and you're not going to do that. So it'd have to be Moses or Buddy as tradable contracts. And why is this an issue? Because you don't have many players. When you look at the team salary, folks, active top 3. So the top 3 players in your team, how much are they making? Brooklyn, $79 million. Utah, $74 million. Milwaukee, $101 million. Indiana, $109 million. Go down. Warriors, $139 million. Your top 3 players, Butler, Green, and Curry. That is handicapping you on building depth around your team, but also making trades because you have to match money for money in this new aprons, as most teams are over the first apron. The Warriors are minus $93 million when it comes to cap space. Not good. Brooklyn has the space, but of course they did Cam Johnson for Michael Porter Jr., so they're not making another trade. Kuminga was potentially spot. Now, what about next year? We're looking at this upcoming year. What about next year? Who's got space? Well, you can see here cap space all. Brooklyn's got some space, so maybe they go for him next year. Milwaukee could have space. Right now it's pretty low at $21 million in the deficit, but they can make moves like they did this year. Memphis, I don't think Kuminga's trying to go to Memphis. Utah, Charlotte, Philly. So you can see here that all of them will have cap space for the most part. Again, here you can assume that they're going to go down and things will be made. But there's not a lot of teams with like, hey, F you money. If you keep going in the future, obviously when deals run out, now you're seeing more and more teams aren't already in the red moving forward. Warriors themselves, pretty bad. But when you get to after this year, when Butler, Green, and Curry are off the books, then look how much cap space they have. And they could go try to get a Giannis or another big player at that point. So there's not a lot out there in terms of like Kuminga getting money that he's trying to get. And again, you look at the actives. This is, hey, cap space all. This is active. So these are players potentially currently playing. Boom. Giving you guys some insight. Let's go back. Yeah, we already talked about this. Again, in terms of negotiations, Kings, Suns, only two teams really at this point. Suns gave a better offer for Kuminga, $90 million, versus we just talked about the $70-ish million. More than $70 million more than the Warriors offered. But he has a bigger role in Sacramento. He can be a starter next to Keegan Murray and Sabonis. He wants to go to Sacramento. I think if this was like the Raptors, Magic, Pacers, any team that's not in NorCal and you have that heated rivalry, I think potentially this trade may already have been done. But do you want to give him Kuminga for not what you think you deserve back for him and have him flourish in the city and then you have to live with that the rest of your life and career? Probably not. Again, Kuminga thinks he's ready to flourish. Ended last season on some did not plays, ended the season in the playoffs. Curry got hurt against Minnesota, came in, was a nice scorer, but just outmatched across the board. Finished the season with 25 points, 55% shooting, 38% from the three-point line, which feels a bit high based off of how he actually did. He's looking to bet on himself. He posted this on his IG. I'll bet on myself all day. And then, of course, next to his agent, Mr. Turner, who Arthur has done a great job at profiling him and what he's done with Kuminga so far. And this deal came after it was reported per ESPN. He rejected the 2-year, $45 million, $22.5 million per year deal from the Warriors with a team option second year. So that potentially means he'd be there for 2 years. Now he can either accept this if it's still on the table, the qualifying offer, $7.9 million, and he'd be a free agent next year. They could trade him, and he would have the option to resign there, but nobody would retain his rights. We just talked about there will be some teams next year. The question is, does Kuminga want to ride out 1 year here, potentially 2 years, force a trade, sit out, not play, and try to get to the team he wants to go to? He wants to be a starter. We all know this. The role was there for him to start the season with Andrew Wiggins out. Then, unfortunately, of course, injuries happened. Kuminga hurt his ankle, came back. That was after the Butler trade. He basically missed all of January and a bit of February. Butler took a spot, small forward. Kuminga did not play really much after that. Kerr does not like Kuminga, Butler, and Green together. However, this upcoming year, if they're there, he said they give him more time to gel and try to work on the floor spacing. Warriors had a top 5 offense and top 5 defense. They were smart, one of the smarter teams in the league. However, they feel with Kuminga, that actually drops. With Kuminga, they question if they're a top 5 offense and defense based off the way he plays. When you have Steph, Jimmy, and Dre, you have 3 of the smartest guys in the league out there. And again, that's where it takes you to, are you able to get some cap space from other teams to make a trade? If you're Kuminga, and it sounds like this year it's not, so moving into next year, if this is projected, then do I just do the qualifying offer? I'm 22 years old, go have some fun 1 year, or try to have fun, and then move forward from there. Whew! So folks, comment your thoughts on this episode and what you think. Of course, we're doing our best to keep you updated and give you basketball news here in Warriors land. Anything you want to talk about, put it in there. And of course, we enjoy the conversations. See you on the next episode.